listen, I don't know what I'm doing here anyway, or either. But guess what? We still working. We still moving. It is over 100 degrees outside. You know, there's something about when it's like really hot outside that really make you feel like, I don't know, man. About a half hour ago, I was like, God, dog, I'm tired. All right. And I was just thinking, yo, the last thing that I have not been addressing with my health is my sleep. And even though sleep is important, one other thing is very, very, very important. And you know what that is? Do you know what that is? It's me and my upbringing, my pedigree, my YMD training, my Young Men's Division training, and the people I was raised by. Oh my God, where are my manners? It's the 6 past commandments. And you know who ain't got no manners? This one right, this one right here. No manners. This might be the rudest video of 2024. Okay, we got another big back. I'm saying, just all types of complications going on with the neck area. We got another one. The first offense of this year was the recent teaser story with the, you know, the chick that did the "Who the F Did I Marry," where this big broad went and told this whole story shitting on her ex-husband, who tried to give her a good life and trying to do these nice things for her. Yeah, he lied, you know, about certain stuff. He lied trying to impress her. He didn't take nothing from her. He didn't rob her. He didn't take no money from her. He didn't keep her from getting nothing. That, and I'm like, yo. But the narrative was, here ninjas go again. I told y'all them ninjas is no good. Them ninjas always trying to get over. And Angry Man made an important point. Again, women see opportunities for manipulation. And what they see is the opportunity to say, okay, we're going to take this example and get you men in line. So basically, what people like doing with black men is getting black men to prove that they're not a bad guy, or prove that they're not undesirable, or it's always this thing where black men are being pulled into like a circle of proving yourself. Meanwhile, the other person isn't proving anything to you, right? But anywho, I'm getting a little sidetrack here, but we seeing this pattern of bigger women behaving. Again, you seeing like the stripper, gold digger, the aggressive, the aggressiveness and the entitlement. And again, you wouldn't really get this if you've never been around one of those like real materialistic hood chicks who, when you come around them, if you're not used to hearing that kind of talk, if you're not mentally strong, you'll believe her. I always think about this chick. I'm not even sure how we met. Listen, this broad was ugly, and she had a pretty nice body. And I forgot. I think I might have met her on MySpace or Facebook. And again, we kind of just spoke a few times. She went to my school, and I remember her whole vibe. Everything was like pretty much like, yo, you know, if you ain't got no money or you ain't got no motion, I can't deal with you. And this shit wasn't attractive at all. And I remember in my head thinking, man, I'm thinking, looking at you, yeah, you kind of ugly. You know what I mean? But at the time, I didn't understand how a woman that's not that attractive got that mindset. And what it was probably like, yo, some dude of a higher status was knocking you down or using what he had to get you for whatever reason, right? And then again, women will get an appetite for a certain kind of man once they've experienced them, right? And they won't think about, all right. Again, we'll go with my original analogy where it's like, all right, boom, I don't know, let's say I'm a 9, right? If I approach a chick that's a 4, if I'm a 9, she's going to automatically feel like, all right, I gotta hurry up and give him something. All right, yo, this is a great opportunity. And even that scenario kind of exposes how much women will look for a lopsided deal. You know what I'm saying? A deal that benefits them way more than it does the person that they're actually dating, right? And that's how you kind of wind up in these situations. And then after that guy, after they're done dealing with each other and whatnot, she feels as though that's my level. I'm not, I don't want to date someone who ranks less than that. We'll put it like that, right? But those interactions were always fascinating to me. And even when I think about that time frame, right, which is around like 05 and whatnot, I can remember where my mindset was at during that time. I mean, personally, I've never had a problem with bigger women. Now, as I gotten older, I'm less likely to date someone who's like obese or date someone who got a big old belly and a whole lot of neck. So a whole lot of attitude, a whole lot of neck, and a whole lot of back. I'm less likely to for that to be attractive to me and whatnot. But it's a really interesting dynamic, right? So for one, I want to address when big women make this disingenuous statement or argument about, these disingenuous statements about why men will deal with a bigger woman when they know the reason why, or they know one of the reasons why. All right. Now, again, if a man is not in that space in his life, then maybe he just don't relate to that. You know what I'm saying? But it does speak to options. The guy that knows that he can get the fine girl that's in shape, and that makes sense to him. We got to also realize too that men mostly pursue the kind of women they will have the most success with. It's just smart. I'm just saying, it's just smart because the man is hunting, right? Why would I hunt something that I can't kill? Right? If I only have the artillery to knock down a wolf or a fox and whatnot, that same artillery may not knock down a grizzly bear. You know what I mean? If what would knock down a grizzly bear maybe won't knock down an elephant. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But I'm saying that men will kind of go with the kind of women that they can get with. Now, when I was younger, my first experiences were with bigger girls. So I think I would talk to my dad about this, about how like guys who have these very endearing things they say about bigger women, right? A lot of times it's because, for one, in our era, right, if you're a little bit older, you remember the days where you might meet a girl that was a little bit bigger, and she was going to make it a little easier for you. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't going to talk about she's celibate. You know what I mean? She wasn't going to try to get the same deal that the real fine girl who's evil try to get. Because again, this whole game of like of trying to convince the man to treat you like a princess. You know what I mean? Because the princess in any kingdom has the least responsibility, doesn't play any key role. She mostly just benefits from the work or the riches of the kingdom. You know what I mean? Very rarely. Well, I mean, unless it's Game of Thrones, if it's like an epic novel, maybe. But in real life, if you really think about it, they say princess for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And you see this desire where all women kind of want to get that kind of treatment where they can just take. It's like that, or I think really a better metaphor is like it's like welfare. You know what I mean? Where it's seemingly like I can kind of just benefit and just take, and I don't have to give anything. I just have to be in a certain financial space and meet certain qualifications, and I'm saying, and I can get welfare. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, what I think is also going on is the lies that women tell each other, because y'all telling each other that y'all all are beautiful, right? Who was that? Christina Aguilera had a record back in the day, beautiful song, and it was called I Am Beautiful in Every Single Way. And, in that video, it's all different kinds of people, and I think the internet, I'm not sure how to word it, but it became this thing where with social media starting to become bigger and bigger, because with the advent of smartphone or more people having smartphones, social media is stronger than ever because we can all learn something at the same time. An accident can happen. Like, for example, the thing with former President Trump, people knew about that within half the day. Some people seconds, some people minutes. You already knew about it. Within a few hours, everyone not only has heard about it, they've seen it. 20 years ago, we would have had to wait till 5 o'clock basically for the news to come on. Or, you know what I'm saying, so you couldn't get instant news. You know what I'm saying? So, but anywho, with social media, I started noticing around like 2016, 2017-ish, this tone, this vibe. No, 2018 is the most. This whole effort of telling men what to think, telling people what to think in general, and a lot of it had, and the loudest voices have always been radicals and people who are extremely liberal. You know what I mean? That's when we started hearing these phrases or these terms like toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Narcissists. You know what I mean? All these different things. You know, people watching these videos, and what it did was it's the kind of content that allows you to have a bias, and no one can call you on that bias. But also, it was one of these things that gave people the language. Giving people the language is like putting weapons in someone's hands sometimes, because when you give someone the language to explain something, right, or to explain a point, that person could be completely wrong. But while they're wrong, they're able to explain their point in a way where you're not able to tell whether or not they're incorrect, or you should basically they kind of not so much stalemate you, but if you're not ready for that kind of conversation, like if someone rolls up on you and says, no, but you're a narcissist, right? And they define what a narcissist is, and they find convenient examples of that may apply to you, right? To say you're a narcissist. If I'm not ready for that conversation, how well am I going to do? Because it's not a normal thing for someone to come at you with basically, I'll say is terms and phrases that maybe you're not familiar with, and maybe you haven't had a chance to digest to fully understand what they're saying. You know what I mean? What always comes to mind is this girl I tried to date back in 2018, and looking back now, like I've dated quite a few larger girls in my day. This girl in particular, she was big. You know what I'm saying? She was real cute, dressed well and whatnot, but she was big. And in my mind at the time, you know, I thought that I could get her maybe to lose weight if we got together and whatnot. And of course, in hindsight now, I realize how much like it would have never been a good relationship, because again, most black men don't realize when a woman's not bringing anything to the table. It's not for, and when I say that, I'm not speaking to any super high standard. I'm talking about someone literally not trying to impress you at all, not trying to be like, men for the most part want to be the man of your dreams. They want to be seen as that nigga in your eyes. We always want to be bigger than life in your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And we understand in order to be that in your eyes, they gotta try and they got to do something, try to be useful. You know, show your charisma, you know what I mean? Your presentation, your performance in the bed, all these things, you know what I'm saying? You know, being willing to defend your honor, having your best interest at heart, all these different things. We do it to impress you and make you feel like that's a good guy, right? And when I talk about the table situation, like the thing about that conversation is like, yo, most men, if you ask them, yo, like, you know, when you were interacting with this woman, you were hanging out, did she do anything to impress you to impress you according to what she knows you like? Women, for the most part, spend a lot of time trying to impress you with things that you don't care about. A lot of times, what women will do is they'll spend time trying to build up an idea in your head that their value is higher than what it is, and they always want you to believe they're more popping than what they are. Like, I remember my ex, like, we first met, she made it sound like she goes on trips randomly on the weekend, and that's something that she does on a regular basis and all that. She never did any of that shit when we was together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't a thing. I'm like, don't get me wrong, she went away quite a bit for like a normal person, but she made it when we first met. And again, because that was something that she was into and that she liked. And again, most women don't really know how to like see a guy and say, I like that guy, and move things along, or they'll meet a guy, or they'll be on a whole date. They can be seeing a guy, and it never occurs to them like how to connect with them. Because again, men have to learn, or else you're not going to get no girl. Men don't get girls out of sympathy. Girls don't start dealing with you because they feel bad for you. They deal with you because in their mind, this is a great choice for me. This is a great catch for me. Women don't get into bad situations on purpose. Most of the time, whatever guy they with, that's another thing too that men gotta understand. whatever guy you see her with or she was with before, that's probably her level. The kind of guy she spent the most time around, that's the kind of guy that can deal with her and she can deal with him, right? But anywho, but here we are in this present day and age. I'm gonna make another comment about that young lady, the big one, right? So, also during my experience with her, like I didn't realize how much she was trying to be in control. How much, because all bigger women have, they're deeply insecure, and also they usually really aggressive and they're very controlling, and they usually want to control how you feel. They want to have control over their feelings. No, well, I'm sorry, no control over their feelings, but control over your thoughts and feelings as well. If that makes any sense, meaning that they will not do emotional regulation, meaning that, all right, if I'm starting to get upset, calming myself down or trying to stay calm or trying to be reasonable, like making an effort to like not lose my cool. Because again, we learn that over time. I mean, it was a point in life where you would hit your knee and cry. If you hurt yourself hard enough, you would cry because you hurt yourself. Because yo, back then, falling on your knee at 3 years old is rough. Like, yo, that's tough. That's your biggest challenge. Your biggest op is the ground at that time. When you're 3, your biggest op is sharp corners, the ground, things that got words and numbers. Like you're just screwed. You know what I mean? Until you about 30. That's how long it takes, baby. Around 30 years old, you start to kind of know, all right, boom. There's a bed right there. Let me make sure I don't hit my small toe. You understand? But anywho, I remember, I'm trying to give you a good example. There was always this thing where like she couldn't control at the time. I didn't understand it, but it was she had no control of herself, and she didn't really. I guess at the root of it, she didn't understand how men operated at all. So a lot of black women have this thing where they think when a man wants you to take them serious, because men feel love through respect. A part of respect is taking someone serious. So if I'm showing you I don't really take you that serious, what does that say about the respect level? So I will hear women pretty much make jokes about, or I think every man has experienced a woman saying, well, you the man, I know you'll say, don't do that because I'm a man. That's the most immature shit that I've ever seen in my life. You know why? If woman bumps into you, you know what I'm saying, or even she makes a mistake, even if she wrong, you don't call her out her name. You don't call her see you next Tuesday. You don't call her a B. You don't name call, because it's a lady, and we all get that. If you see a woman struggling with a bag or struggling with something, period, or need any kind of help, and you know that she can't help herself, why do you help her? Because it's a lady, and most of us will hope that someone will help a woman that we're related to or a woman that we love if they're in need, right? One time, I was at work. This customer, I don't know what we was on, but all I heard niggas say was, well, you know what? You should have just gave me some pussy. And like, it was such a wild, obviously he was crazy. It was such a wild thing. I remember my coworker saying, yo, like, and she didn't cuss him out, nothing like that. I know she just like was mad uncomfortable, but she was like, yo, I'm a female. Like I'm a woman. You know what I mean? Like, in general, men don't say that to female strangers. They don't say anything about what they want to do to them physically and nothing like that. Why? Because it's a lady. So we all get the concept of there are ways you talk to and deal with women. You know what I mean? Or even understanding the interaction. Like, men make fun of each other all day long. Women don't like, again, there's certain things you can joke with a woman about, but women don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Women feel that as hate. Because again, you're in so many words, to them it makes them feel ugly. I think it makes them feel ugly. It makes them feel undesirable if you're making fun of them, or especially if it's anything that has to do with her appearance at all. You just can't do that. Women don't like that. It took me years to understand the kind of interactions that women like. Women don't really like jokes at their expense, unless it's something that maybe that they also find funny. But you gotta know how to phrase that. You know what I mean? Or even being direct. You know not to be too direct with a woman or too loud. Why don't men get straight to the point and get loud with women? Because she's a woman, she's a lady. She's not gonna like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I said to say that one part of liberal thinking, especially with modern American black women, is this idea of always reinforcing that I don't take it that serious, bro. Yeah, I heard you and whatnot, and but basically it's always this act of acting like you don't know what the person is talking about. You know what it is? The tone is very much like talking about your 11-year-old son, or like your 10-year-old like little brother, and he's throwing the fit. It's like, oh, he over here trying to, he trying to be a tough guy. He trying to, girl, he tripping. Basically, it's just like kind of like waving them off. You know what I mean? And when I hear women say stuff like, oh yeah, no, you said that because I'm a man and I can't do that to you because what we talking about. You know what I mean? Like again, so men get it. And at the time, I didn't understand that she really didn't get how to talk to, like how to just interact with a man and what's acceptable and not acceptable. And it was always a lot of her feeling as though like when she would make a comment or a critique, she would always say it to me as if she knew more than me. It was times when we were on the phone and like she was like kind of like giving me kudos for how I was communicating with my son. And like she like ran through like basically like these social media points, like wow, that's what I'm talking about. That's good parenting, But she kind of, but she went through this list of like, like you were assertive without yelling. You did this, you did. But she was kind of basically saying, that's my idea of a good man, not this is what a good man actually is based off of what men have told you. And don't get me wrong, I know it wasn't a bad thing for her to comment on that, but she was commenting on it as if like she had any credibility in that area for me to say, oh man, I mean that means a lot coming from a big girl from California with no kids and has all these emotional problems. But also too, another thing she introduced me to was the person who has a bunch of problems, but they have the language to make it not sound like it's all their problems. So she had this thing about she would say she had anxiety, and that was her way of getting me to basically to give her attention on a consistent basis, because it was like, because her thing was, if I don't hear from him at a certain time, because I had an ex who passed away, and before he passed away I couldn't get him on the phone, I need to hear from you right away and stuff like that. All this, this weird stuff. It really was you eat too bad. Anywho, so it was that. It was just like several things, and I guess the point that I'm getting to is this world that social media creates that makes people even more unsuccessful in dating and in relationships, and not just people, but people, places, and things. You know what I'm saying? And it's gotten to a point where that everyone is beautiful, everyone deserves a shot, but it mostly means all women are beautiful and all women deserve a shot. We know that all men are not beautiful and all men, but what you always see is this is the end game of promoting the idea that everyone deserves love and everyone deserves a good life. Every woman deserves, because you always kind of hear that all women that deserve to have a loving relationship, or basically a great relationship with a great guy and a great deal, irregardless of how she look, how she acts, who she is, any of that shit. You know what I mean? And this is how we get beloved right here. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, please like, share, and subscribe, guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. Let's go ahead and see what Shorty got to say.
Cool. I said I would pay him back at the end of the money, right? No, he wasn't going to give it to me. He was going to loan it to me. Whatever, cool. I said I would pay him back at the end of the month. The end of the month has come. I've been thinking about it. I have a lot of things I need to get done, and I'm still like really behind in bills because of the fact that I lost my job. So I'm trying to play catch up, and I finally got a little bit of money, right? So he texted me this morning, and he's like, "Oh, has your check still not cleared yet? I haven't received the money," which already is a sassy like way of asking for the money back.
All right, you know what?
But granted, he shouldn't have had to ask. I should have just sent it to him. So, anyways, I sent him the money, but the problem is right now, like, I kind of have the ick, and I don't want to talk to him anymore. Am I everything that's wrong with women these days? Like, because he did nothing wrong, and he was actually very helpful. It was a lot of money, and a lot of men wouldn't have even, loaned it to me, and he did, and I'm really grateful for that. And I think he's a great person. He's going to make whoever he ends up with very happy. I just personally feel like he's not, like, I don't think that this is going to work. The money, right?
So there you have it. All right, there you have it. Um, and for people who are over like 35 and stuff like that, you would have never heard like a big girl. And again, that girl's not huge or nothing like that, but you can tell she's a little bigger. We can't see the rest of her body, but you always can kind of tell by someone's neck. You know what I'm saying? If they're close to the weight that it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, when I start being able to see my neck, and that's how I know that I'm bigger right now, because my neck isn't as small as it was like before. You know what I'm saying? And my jawline is not, I don't see it as much. So I know, like, all right, bro, I gotta do something about my sleep, bro, because I'm like, fam, I'm burning hella calories, and this math ain't mathing. But anywho, I guess what I wanted to touch on was that a big girl in previous eras and whatnot would have been so grateful and so happy to have someone want to do for her. So this woman acknowledged that, and this is the paradox, and this is what a lot of men, especially if you're a good guy, this is what you're experiencing, is a woman finding a way, her infinite creativity, finding her way out of a good situation. Whoever that guy was, this guy think enough of you to part with money that he need, right? And all the comments that she made didn't make any sense. And I guess it just means this: modern women, especially African American Black women, if nothing changes, if everything just stays the same, dating is over. Because if a big girl is talking like this, because this was something that was one of the biggest takeaways from the Kevin Samuels show. How many regular looking women, how many women who are overweight have a mindset where they feel as though they're supposed to have access to the best guy, and then kind of find out the kind of guy, their idea of the best guy is not so much the guy who likes her and whose values align with hers, who's the kind of man who could be a good father, who's reliable, all the things that make men, and we're starting to realize that women have been, well, I guess because again, the decentralizing of men has gotten to a place where women don't realize that you don't like anything that makes a man, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I always talk about how through the penis envy, because again, Crimson Cure speaks on this about how a lot of women are insecure about being women. So therefore, that's why they want to do masculine things. They want to communicate like a man. They want to do the same things that men do because they feel as though being a woman is not good enough. And it's great. I mean, like, again, we both have our roles and we both have things that we're both great at. And when we come together, we can make a wonderful family, you know what I mean, and have great outcomes and whatnot. But anyway, like I said before, what we're seeing is this is the end game of y'all all trying to tell each other that y'all all are great, you're all wonderful. And so that on top of her life experiences and whatnot, equals someone who's probably a good 40, 50 pounds overweight behaving. I can't, because I've been trying to come up with the best analogy. But again, I guess it keeps coming back to Baddie syndrome. Baddie syndrome is the mindset that comes along, especially with wigs, weaves, and lashes. And a part of it is a few different things. For one, it's the feeling of invincibility when it comes to relationships. It's also is deeply rooted in narcissistic behavior. You know what I mean? Where only what I want matters. Relationships are only there for me to have a good time. All right. And I want everything up front. All right. And I can make infinite demands. And also, in terms of what I bring to the table, what I bring to the table is that I am so desirable and I am so amazing in bed. And this is all attested by me. Not because you telling me, but because I'm telling you. And I don't really need to actually contribute to any relationship in a real way. Again, and so that's what we're seeing. And she even goes as far as to acknowledge that he's an amazing guy, he's a wonderful guy who makes a woman very happy. And again, we seeing more and more of these videos. And again, what y'all are telling men is that y'all are not capable of being in relationships, in healthy relationships, because the divorce rate says it. Social media, again, I understand that people who allow on social media don't literally represent everyone, but they represent the spectrum of where we are. You know what I'm saying? Because again, a girl that big, if she came across a guy like that in 1998, 95, it'll be more obvious to her, like, yo, this is a good one right here. And he liked me, he want to be with me. You know what I mean? Because, like, you know, and but saying that and it's another thing too. I think giving people language is a lot like Pandora's box. Because when women got introduced to the term narcissist and gaslighting, look what happened to it. It became basically a weapon. And we're seeing how women, whenever it's anything that means this nigga is lame, right? Any language that says this nigga is lame, I basically don't mess with him like that. Because women also, especially black women, they the more men they can reject, or the more men that they can look at and say, I'm good, or he's not good enough for me, it makes them feel more valuable, and they see themselves as, you know what I'm saying, that's what they think, you know, their value is attached to. That's why they always gravitate towards that kind of behavior, you know. And again, so now we have the language, the ick. The first time I think I heard that was when Alicia Keys was talking about her husband, who she has kids with. The ick, that sounds terrible. It like ick is terrible. And now the ick basically means when some black man who's not on your level, who you deem to be not on your level, it's to the point where it disgusts you. You think so lowly of him that it disgusts you to be around him. It's nasty work, King. And but also too, the self-awareness is so low that when these women make these videos, they're not aware. It's like, it seems almost as though they're not aware of how terrible you sound. And I'm starting to realize it's also because in black culture, it's not bad to be a bad person. In black culture, it's not bad to do terrible things. If we frame it a certain way, if it's a punchline at the end, if it's a joke at the end, like she does a shit when she bites her nail, as if she didn't just say a terrible thing. But this is also what happens when terrible people influence the masses. Because on TV shows and movies, it's not real, so that person always responds at the end of the movie or at the end of the show, or the story's never really over. You know what I'm saying? There's never truly an unhappy ending. Again, Sex and the City. There's no universe where Carrie Bradshaw gets Mr. Big. Carrie Bradshaw had nothing to offer that man, like nothing to give that man. Not even looks. All right, Sarah Jessica Parker wasn't hot in her prime, much less, you know, at 40 and 50. Anywho, but anyway, we got to ask ourselves, why do people put these embarrassing videos up? You just admitted that you're a terrible person, that you lie, you know what I mean, and you don't follow through on your promises, and also you have an effed up view of people who do for you. You call them, that's nothing sassy. All these weaponized terms, you know what I mean? Let me tell you something. All that shit, listen, it's over. That's over. There will be no more using colorful language to trigger men into doing what you want or acting how you want. That's a wrap. It's done. Okay? Men are starting to check the F out and focus on hobbies. And on top of that, the economy too tough. You more than ever, you gotta be focused on getting you a few extra dollars. But anyway, it's the 6 past commandments, man. Please like, share, and subscribe if you got this far in the video. I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate all the love we get on the channel. We getting comments, beloved. We getting more subscribers. They joining the 6 past family. I don't got a name for y'all yet. I'm gonna work on it when I find time. 6 past dice, Mr. Lane. If you need me, we out of here, man.